Well, it's time to get up.
What?
Remember at the end of the last video, we said the babies were going to Paris?
Yeah, the babies are going to Paris.
Yeah, so we gotta go to Paris.
No, we're not.
But I bought all these new clothes.
Rugrats the movie came out in the year 2000s, and much like the first movie, it made 103 mil on a 30 mil budget.
And returning screenwriters, we have J. David Stem and David Wise. And joining them on this movie was Jill Gary, Barbara Herndon, and Kate Boutilier.
So it's time for Lou and Lulu's wedding. And in true Angelica fashion, she decides to be the most extra child in the world and decided to become the Bob father.
You mean the Godfather?
No, the Bob father.
Well, anyway, Here we are at this wedding, and they really drive home about Chucky not having a mom. I mean, it's like totally an attack on him, where they literally had a mom and child dance, and he's left out.
Which isn't a thing. So now we're back to Paris, where a stage performance is being produced using a robot that Stu made.
Which, by the way, is only put together with paper clips and rubber band, which causes its head to go flying off and almost hitting the first real antagonist the babies have ever come across, Coco LaBouche, and her henchman, Jean-Claude.
So LaBouche has Kira contact Stu, who is sleeping soundly in America at this point. Through a series of misunderstandings, he thinks that LaBouche wants his entire friends and family to come to Japan with him. Oh, Japan? Paris.
No, Japan.
Paris.
Japan meets Paris.
Yes, okay.
Anywho, once Stu gets into Paris, he goes and meets LaBouche for the first time. And after having an interesting introduction, where LaBouche yells at the babies for messing with her stuff, Stu leaves to go fix Reptar.
So Angelica's under the table and overhears LaBouche talking to her boss about promotion that she might possibly get. But her boss is more so interested in someone who's very family-oriented and can, has a love for children.
But LaBouche claims otherwise, saying that she loves kids and is actually marrying a man who has one of his own. With that being said, Angelica comes out from underneath her desk and claims that she knows someone that LaBouche can marry, Chucky's dad, Chaz. And if she agrees to give her her own pony and her own float in a parade, she'll help him win him over.
So LaBouche agrees to Angelica's terms and service, and for the rest of the movie is trying to win Chaz's heart. And also trying to pretend hers is not in a jar somewhere.
And while all this is going on, we meet up again with Kira, LaBouche's assistant, and her daughter Kimmy. And right away we could tell that Chaz and Kira hit it off real quick.
But with LaBouche on the prowl, Akira's feelings are quickly pushed aside. And the next day, Chaz and LaBouche take the babies to Ooey Gooey World, with Kira watching on security cameras and feeding LaBouche information over the course of the date.
Now finally we get a real Rugrats adventure in the movie. See, earlier in the movie, Chucky saw the princess in the parade, and he decided he wanted the princess to be his new mommy. Now with the help of Kimmy, the babies escape the ride at Ooey Gooey and head to the mountain to see the princess.
Akira notices that the babies have gone missing from Ooey Gooey ride and sends her ninja task force to find them. As the babies cause havoc to the park, eventually they make to the elevator that leads up to the top of the mountain thanks to Kimmy's shortcut. And once they reach to the top, they just barely miss the princess.
Chucky was going to chase after her, but got too scared. And in his moment of hesitation, the security team captured them and put him back on the ride at Ooey Gooey. Later that night, back at the hotel, Chaz is raving about his time with LaBouche, saying how she was amazing and how he thinks she's the one. But Dee Dee's excited for him, but tells him that he shouldn't rush into anything.
But Chaz reassures Dee Dee that if Chucky doesn't like her, it's a no-go because they're a package deal. So Angelica and LaBouche get together, and Angelica informs her that Chucky wants the princess to be his new mommy.
That night, everyone goes to see the Reptar show, featuring Stu's robot Reptar. While it's going on, LaBouche hijacks the play, throwing the very talented actress playing the princess off the stage, so she can trick Chucky into thinking she's the princess. See, her goal here is to get Chucky to hand over Wawa, his bear that his actual mother had given him. In the moment when he hands her over, LaBouche reveals herself to be herself, and Chucky panics, but it's too late to take Wawa back.
So Chaz sees a sign to do exactly what Dee Dee says and marry LaBouche.
No, Dee Dee said not to marry LaBouche.
No, she said to do it, otherwise why would he do it?
Because Chaz can't see through her act. Anyway, it's the day of the wedding, and Chucky is upset that his dad is going to be marrying LaBouche.
So the babies end up annoying LaBouche, and she has Jean-Claude take them away so they won't interfere with the wedding. So Kira and LaBouche are on the way to the wedding, and Kira decides that it's time that she confronts Caboose because she doesn't agree with what she's doing and is threatening to tell Chaz the truth.
LaBouche responds with a heartfelt kick out the door, and onto the ground Kira falls, and LaBouche storms off to the wedding. Kira, now on foot, finds a bike and pedals as fast as she can to get to the church to stop this wedding from happening.
So the babies are being kept at the same warehouse where they store Robot Reptar. And Chucky opens up to the other babies about how he doesn't really care about having a princess mom. He just wants a mom that loves him, and then he starts crying. And at the same time, Angelica's heart grew 3 sizes that day, and confessed to the other babies that she was the one that was helping LaBouche this whole time.
With Angelica admitting her wrongdoing, Chucky finds the courage to want to stop the wedding from happening, but he doesn't know how. So Tommy comes up with the sneaky, elegant, low-profile idea to steal the 100-foot-tall robot.
So as the babies are terrorizing Paris and leaving destruction in their path, they stop to pick up Kimmy on the way. And as they're almost to the church, they get confronted by Jean-Claude and have this big climactic robot battle in the middle of Paris.
But the babies end up defeating Jean-Claude and finally make it to the church, where Chucky storms into the church, voicing his objection, saying no. Chaz is so happy about Chucky saying his first word, he gets distracted and forgets about the wedding, angering LaBouche, who wanted to finish the wedding before Kira could get there and tell Chaz the truth.
But in a surprising turn of events, Angelica actually ends up being the hero of the movie, exposing LaBouche and all that she was doing this whole time. After that, Kira comes in with Chucky's teddy bear Wawa and returns it to him. And through the course of events, she kind of reveals to Chaz that she was the one that was feeding LaBouche the information the whole time.
Chaz realizes that Kira was the one he loved all along. And with that, the movie wraps up with how the movie began, at a wedding. Kira and Chaz is this time.
Ultimately, Chucky still ends up getting his wish, a new mommy and a new sister.
And with that, and with his newfound courage, he takes on the role of the Bob Father, granting favors at his dad's wedding.
This movie actually had a lot of Disney references for a Nickelodeon show.
For example, I always referenced Euro Reptar to Euro Disney.
And there was also this segment where princes were a really big focus, which is always a thing in Disney movies.
Also like to mention how Reptar having a Turbo Blast mode when its tail was ripped off is another example of, like in the first movie, how the Reptar wagon had laser eyes. A good example of Stu's adding unnecessary things into his inventions.
This is one of my favorite Rugrats movies. I like it a lot better than Rugrats 1.
That's totally just hating on me because you know I love the first one.
But you can't argue this one's not a little bit better.
I mean, it's good. I don't know. I just feel really partial to the first one. I can't tell you. It's not a bad movie. It's a great movie. If I had to choose, the first one's the one that I go with.
Next time, we're gonna go a little crazy. We're gonna go wild.
And find some thornberries?
We're watching Rugrats Go Wild next time. I like that.
Okay, yeah. I like that too.